Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you my first over-the-board game where I played the London system in the style of Mikhail Tal. I've sacrificed a lot of material in order to get to my opponent king. My elo in this game was 1001 and my opponent is 1518. So let's see the game. I've started with d4. I want to continue with bishop f4. Sorry. Knight to f3. E3. Bishop d3. Knight bd2. Short castle. Along this line. My opponent replied with d5. I've played bishop f4. Bishop f5. Knight f3, knight f6, e3, with the intention to play bishop d3, e6 from my opponent. It seems that he's copying me. Knight bd2, and bishop e7. With this move, my opponent wants to castle next. And here I remember that castling too soon is very dangerous. So I've continued with c4, I've attacked the center, and he replied with c5. And I placed my knight in the center with the intention to play g4 if my opponent will castle. So my opponent did castle. So my attack starts with g4. My opponent retreated his bishop to d6, but maybe it was better to put it on e4, attacking my rook from h1, provoking me to play f3 and then retreat the bishop back. Here I continue with h4, I will follow it with g5 and h5. My opponent played h6, and this is a mistake, because when you're under attack you should not move pawns in front of your king. This h6 move helps me when I'm playing g5. So my next move is g5. My opponent plays knight h5, and I'm taking on h6. I want to destroy black defense. My opponent is taking on d4, and I continue to take on g7. I'm attacking his rook, and he is forced to take my pawn with his king or the knight, but he took with the king. I played rook g1. I've placed my rook on the same file with my opponent's king, and my opponent get out of this file. He moved king h7, and now I'm starting a combination where I'm sacrificing a lot of material in order to leave black defenseless. So my first move is rook knight takes g6. My opponent took the knight, and here I made a rook sacrifice. I'm forcing black king to come forward. So he took my rook, and I brought my bishop, my last square bishop, into the game with check. He went to g7, and queen takes it h5. So I took another piece that defended the king. He attacked my queen with rook h8, so I give a check here on g6. My opponent played king f8, sorry, and I've gave another check on h6 with my bishop, and here he's forced to give up his rook for my bishop. So I took with the queen check, and king e8. And my next move here was to take on e6, and I'm cutting off. I'm cutting black king to escape on d7. So now I'm threatening bishop g6, followed by queen f7 mate after the king moves to f8. So here my opponent played d takes e3, which is a blunder due to the mate in 2. Here in this position, black should have moved his queen somewhere in order to give some room for his king to escape to d8. So here I played bishop g6 check, king f8, and queen f7 mate. So this is my first official game where I sacrificed a lot of material in order to mate my opponent. There were some mistakes on both parts, but it paid out. I hope you learned something from this game, and please watch other games from my channel. And don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Bye.